You are listening to the Bravo Creative Podcast, hosted by Tom Baker. Thank you for listening. Your position has been triangulated. Drone army has been dispatched to your location. Commencing attack run in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the Bravo Creative Podcast, and thank you so very much for listening. The Bravo Creative Podcast is being transported to you by way of just about every major podcast platform I can think of. But if you prefer another platform, then leave me a comment and I'll take a look at it. I'm always open to new things. Also, you can listen to the podcast directly on the Bravo Creative website at www.bravocreative.net/Bravo podcast. And if you're loving what I'm cooking here at the podcast, go out and like the Facebook page, the Bravo Creative Podcast. It means so very much. Today's sponsor is Sincere Appreciation, not to be confused with insincere flattery. One is thoughtful and the other is just lipstick on a pig. In this business of creativity or anything we do really, it's so important for the mental health of our fellow human beings to get and to give sincere appreciation. Now, don't get me wrong, sincere appreciation is not always easy. It requires you to pay attention, be aware, and observant of those positive qualities and accomplishments done by others. When you figure it out, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, but let that person know. You never know how it's going to change them for the better and maybe compel them to go further. So take time and give some sincere appreciation. Speaking of, I got an awesome review from someone about the podcast that I'd like to share because it just warmed my heart and it reinvigorated me in this new endeavor. And the review begins, "Are you a creative needing inspiration? Tom Baker lights the fire." Tom Baker is a creative jack of all trades, photographer, writer, stage and film actor, cinematographer, and now a podcaster. He brings a smooth voice and an easy likability to his guest interviews, not to mention top-notch production values. Thank you very much. Listen to hear about life on the set from a variety of local artists, from encouraging and often humorous accounts of personal mistakes to inspiring stories of hard work and success. Tom helps you realize that all of us are human and that none of us are alone. Enjoyable and energizing, particularly if you are a creative in the Springfield, Missouri area. Bradley Mowell. Bradley, you freaking rock, dude. Thank you so very much for the compliments and the very well-written review. It means the world to me. I love you. Now to my guest. My guest today is an outstanding performer. Her attention to detail and nuance of character has always impressed and inspired me. She has the versatile range of a larger-than-life stage performer to giving the subtle yet very believable emotions needed in film. And when it comes to a performer, she is the highly sought-after multi-threat. Act, sing, dance, awesome to work with, and absolutely beautiful on top of all that. Recently graduated from MSU's acting program. Is that correct?
Musical theater program. Tom, how dare you say all those nice things about me in front of me and make me cry?
I'm not done yet, okay?
Oh,
so I'm so glad she's finally here to talk with me, my good friend, Aline O'Neill. How you doing?
I love you. That was so nice. I'm really good. I'm excited to be here. I mean, I listen to your podcast all the time on the treadmill. I'm like, ooh, what's he talking about now?
Now you get to listen to yourself, right?
Oh, God, maybe not.
So how does it feel now that you're on the other side?
I do not feel yet on the other side, actually. But it feels good. You know, I'm happy to have graduated, and I'm happy about what I've learned and ready to take on the world, I guess.
Yeah. So what is it? You've got a show that you just got cast in a show, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Mamma Mia at Branson Regional Arts Council. Yeah.
So you're going to do a little shift from film to stage now. Which do you like?
Both, but my love right now is really with the acting more than anything. So like teetering towards the film and television, but stage will always be my first love. That's where I started, like before I was even in preschool, really.
Stage is so much, to me, it's so much more fun. I mean, it's just like, it's a rush in a lot of ways. Film is kind of a slow burn.
That's true.
Whereas getting on stage after the rehearsal and you're confident and you're ready to go at it, you're like, this is going to be crazy.
For sure. It's a huge adrenaline rush. It like reminds me of like the feeling you get like when you're on a roller coaster and you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know. I love film and television because I love getting to do all that homework and like bringing it in and just like really just letting it come to life. And like the intimacy is really what I love. Yeah.
So now you did 10 theater just about every year, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm doing it this summer too.
You are?
Yeah, I'm doing Beehive. I start my contract next week.
Oh, so are you doing one show then?
Yeah, we're just doing one show. They're doing Beehive, they're doing 39 Steps, and then they're streaming Secret Garden again, which was one of the musicals we worked on.
Oh,
recently.
okay.
Yeah.
Secret Garden.
Yes.
I was stage manager of that show once.
Were you really?
That was a mess.
Oh.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, they had all these mirrors and pictures and stuff in the very opening, and
It's pretty elaborate.
It was elaborate. Yeah. It was a lot of work. It was the first time I ever stage managed too. So I didn't, and I got brought on like 3 days before the production went up. So yeah.
Oh wow,
But they thought, well, he was in the military, so he can whip these people into shape, and yeah,
right,
yeah.
Right. They're like, you get this group together, man.
So do you got any film projects coming up?
So I just filmed the proof of concept for Finding Joy with.
That's right. You and Val did that up in Kansas City, right?
Yeah, in Kansas City. I swear to God, I thought it was Joplin the whole time, but it was in Kansas City. I honestly don't even know how I got there. I think it was the day before, and she was like, Aline, it's in Kansas City, not Joplin. I was like, I knew that the whole time. And then I'm working on Eldritch USA. Actually.
Oh, okay.
So whenever that starts filming, I think in August.
Really? Yeah. So that's good. They're going to start that up in August?
I'm thinking that's what they're talking about. We haven't really solidified it yet. Just David and Tyler and all of them. They're pretty busy.
Talk to me a little bit about, because you started acting fairly young, right?
If we're talking stage, I started acting before kindergarten. Yeah.
Did you really?
Yes. The
What was
baby
your
elephant in the Jungle Book. Kids.
Oh my gosh.
And I had this little line where I go, in a military style. And I wore a huge pink bow. Yeah. Pretty iconic.
So were you bit then, or was it something that like really took a while to mature for you where you understood what you were doing?
My parents kind of raised me to be like, everything I do, I want to be the freaking best at it. And so when I started, I was like, this is really fun. And then I was like, wait, I want to be the lead. I don't want to be just a baby elephant. So then I basically just got a stick in my butt, and then I basically worked my butt off, and I just started getting bigger roles. Like I did like Violet Beauregard, I think, and like, yeah, it was a good time, but I really did fall in love with it. And I was doing soccer at the same time. So when I got in middle school, I auditioned for Honk the Musical. Do you know that one?
I think I've heard of that one.
Yes. So I auditioned for that one, and they were like, we want to cast you as the ugly duckling, which is the lead. And I was like, I want it so bad, but they're like, but you have to quit soccer. And soccer was like, loved soccer. I was super athletic. And I was like, no, but, and I was like, something inside me was like, I gotta do it. And so I quit soccer, and ever since I was like, I'm gonna do this musical theater thing. Then I went to high school, and I just committed full throttle. I started doing pre-professional company work at Orbit Arts Academy in Atlanta. And I did that at the same time as my high school shows. Like literally my senior year of high school, I did 3 musicals, like 1 there, 2 at my high school, like 20-something colleges. It was crazy, but I was an addict for it. I love it.
So were you doing dance during soccer and all that kind of stuff?
I didn't really start getting super into the dance side of things until high school. And my teacher at Blessed Trinity, Joy Clift, she was like, hey, you're actually good at this. You should really start working on it. And she put me in one of the higher level dance classes. And then she really kicked my butt, and I started getting into it. And then when I moved to Orbit to do my pre-professional training, I went and took a million classes and just tried to work as hard as possible on it. Because, a lot of people start young with the ballet classes, and I didn't really have that technical training. But I always like to think of myself as somebody who can interpret style and tell stories through movement, while the acting side has always been important to me. Yeah.
That's awesome. So then were you doing voice lessons then?
Oh yeah, I started voice lessons in 5th grade, I think.
Do you play an instrument?
I do not play an instrument. I tried to do the piano thing, and
It didn't stick.
It didn't work out. My sister is extremely talented, though. She's a great musician, and her boyfriend plays like 7 instruments. They're crazy musically talented, yeah.
You're from Atlanta, correct?
Yes, yeah, born and raised.
What has that been like? Because, I mean, like when I met you up here, it seemed like you knew everybody in this area. So how did you get into the filmmaking group up here?
All right. Well, that was all Kurt Highline, my professor at MSU.
Oh, Kurt. Okay.
Yeah. So when I came to the program, I came from musical theater. My dad, when I was growing up, he's always like, you should really do film and television. And I was like, no, I'm a theater girl, musical theater, which like love musical theater. But and then I got to school and I took class with Kurt and he was like, hey, you should really look into film and television. And then Robert Westenberg called me in and he was like, hey, you should really look into film and television. And Kurt sent me like a breakdown for like Vincent's Vow. Local feature. And
oh, yeah. Okay.
I auditioned for the proof of concept, and I did that. And then Dukon gave me another audition for like the actual feature, and he gave it to me. And that's how I met everyone. And when I was on set for that, I mean, it was my first film thing ever. I had never done anything like that before. And
seriously, that was your first time?
Yeah, that was my first film.
You did great in that too, by the way. You really did good in that.
Thank you. And I just I was like, I want to learn everything. I want to know what's going on. And so that's when I became friends with like Tyler and David. And I was asking a lot of questions like, what are you doing right now? Like, what does that mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I just kind of became friends with like all the crew members. I have like Mike Strain and I became buddies and it on from there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it does, that is a big part of acting. Is networking.
Connections is everything.
Yeah.
Everything. How you treat people. Gosh, some people just don't get that.
Some people don't.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't sometimes.
Stop. You're like, get out of my way.
Get out of my way. That's really cool, though. I mean, that's because whenever I showed up, I was just a little bit behind when Vincent's Vow casting. I wasn't kind of in the zone of doing that, but that happened early on for you, so you were able to kind of build yourself your own little support group up here in a way of being away from home.
I am so thankful. Like, I didn't even know how thankful I should be when I was in Vincent's Vow. I was like, what a great like first film opportunity. These people are so cool and they really know what they're doing. I was like, who knew in Springfield, Missouri? And literally from there, like Tyler and David are the reason I'm even doing Eldritch. Like, I didn't even audition for it originally and they needed to replace somebody. And Tyler was like, hey, she would be great at this. Like, it's just, that's what it's all about. And I never knew that, like, making those connections would, like, give me all the knowledge that I have now and all the experience. Like, I feel so thankful and just thankful for the film family that I made. Like, it's been such a safe area for me to grow and to, like, make experiences and make mistakes and learn from them. You know what I mean? Like, to feel ready enough to actually go into the business being like, hey, I'm green in the sense that, like, I'm right out of college, but I'm not green in the sense I do have experience. Like, I do kind of know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's nice to have that. And I feel really thankful to everyone, especially Dukon for Vincent's Vow in general. Like, I would never have even met you, Jonna, and I got into Jonna's acting classes after that. Like, it's just really all been like a snowball.
And he gave you a really good part.
He did.
In the film. So it wasn't just the fact that you got into the film. He gave you a really good part that you were able to show a lot of subtleties in. Yeah. And you were able to kind of play that believable, because that was one thing I really thought in your film. In Vincent's Vow, I thought you were very believable in that film.
Thank you.
I thought it was really cool. And I remember when I was sitting there watching, I was like, I know her.
Stop it. No, thank you. That's so sweet. I mean, Dukon, he definitely took a chance on me. I had literally no experience. And, at the time, I'd only done stage, so I really hadn't found that, like, nuanced, like, film acting yet.
Right.
And he even told me, he was like, I am taking a chance on you. And I was like, I hope you do, because I'll work my butt off to get it right.
Sometimes that pressure's great, too.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Well, and I think that's a little bit from doing stage production.
True.
Because stage production, there's a ton of pressure, on the night of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And hoping that you've learned your lines and you're paying attention and you're aware of and you're listening to what's going on, and it makes such a big difference. And I think sometimes actors have a tendency to kind of dial it in a little bit when they're film acting, and they go, well, I've got about 6 or 7 times to get into this. And you're like, yeah, but if you do a bad take, you never know what that editor's going to use in the edit bay. And he may use one of those crappy takes that you did.
And I'm just like, why would you even dial it in? Like, if you really love it, why would you do it?
Don't do it for the money, right?
Oh my God, like, don't. Oh my God, don't even get me started. Don't do it for the money. He wakes up at 3:30 to work at Starbucks this morning.
Right.
But and for stage, like, a lot of people do think it's like, oh, you just learn the lines and you learn the choreography and then you're prepared. No, like, that's the homework before you even get into rehearsals, like the learning the lines. And then when you get into rehearsals, like, you get the blocking, you get the choreography, like, you build the production around it. And then when you get on stage, you have to be prepared enough to be like, hey, I'm living in the moment. The person across from me, I'm responding to them naturally. This is not just all the stuff I've pocketed and like remember the exact emotions from. No, it's got to be live. If you're doing it right, it's got to be in the moment. It's got to be fresh.
Well, you get all that stuff out in rehearsal. You go through the kinks and knock out all the, the possibilities in rehearsal. All right, we had to pause for a second because I had a bad microphone setting, but there was so much good stuff. We're just going to keep going, all right?
Okay. Look, I have this new mic setting and it's all dramatic. It can be dramatic.
It sounds so much better now.
I'm like scared of it. I'm like, don't get too close.
So before we get into like what your thoughts are of like going forward and stuff like that.
Okay.
Can you talk a little bit about your experience of going, because I mean, there's that choice of as soon as you graduate high school, you've been doing theater, you've been doing little short films. I'm just going to go out to LA or I'm going to go and invest in myself a little bit and then go and take acting classes or go to school for acting. Kind of walk us down what your opinion is of that now, obviously.
Oh boy. My opinion is there is a different path for everyone. That is genuinely my opinion. Some people do not have the privilege to be able to go to college. Like, some people just can't afford it. And, like, they don't necessarily have to. There are other ways to go about it. I like to believe that, like, not everyone has to follow, like, the social idea of graduate high school, go to college. Like, there are other ways to do it. But I will say that it was the best decision I've ever made to go to college. Specifically Missouri State, which was really random. I mean, I auditioned for like 20-something schools. And like,
Did you really?
Oh, it was the most insane year of my entire life. I traveled across the country just to different auditions and literally I think auditioned for like 24, 25 schools. And there's so much rejection. First of all, you kind of have to in the musical theater. I mean, I am blonde and I am a white female soprano. There are so many of me. I have like probably a million other people out there who are doing the exact same thing. And I really had to be like, okay, like what makes me special? Like what makes me unique? And just hope that one of those 20-something schools saw that, you know what I mean? But does
that make you work harder, you think?
Oh, me? Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was my thing going into these auditions. I was like, you know what? I hope they look at me and they're like, oh, she works hard. She's going to work her butt off for us. And like, I was hoping that that's what they would say. And like the honesty, like I think sometimes in musical theater and stage work in general, people sometimes like get so caught up in the production to like, how high can I belt? Like, can I riff super good? Or like, can I kick my face? I'm like, that's all nice and all. Like, but like, are you telling us?
Kick my face?
Yeah.
What is that?
Like doing like a super high kick and kick your face. But I'm like, do you tell a story? Like when you're singing a song or delivering a monologue in an audition, you're looking at a wall across the room. Are you talking to somebody? Like, are you genuinely like having an honest moment? Like, and I feel like that's really lacking. And I wanted to go to a college that taught me how to do that really damn good. Yeah. I was like, I want to go to a school that's all about the acting, and the other things are great. And I want to be really good at those things, but I want acting training. And God, and the whole process was exhausting, truly. And it was heartbreaking in some ways, but like super rewarding in others. I learned a lot about myself and learned a lot about audition life and like how other people are going to treat you and act in auditions, which is just scary. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I called Robert Westenberg. He called me and, we talked for an hour on the phone and he just preached to me all the ideals that I was looking for in a school. And I was like, I really want to come there. I know that's random. Atlanta, Springfield. I didn't even have enough time to tour the school. I basically was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a freaking chance and do it. And I am so glad that I did. I mean, my freshman year, I got a little impatient. And I was like, oh my God, like I should be out auditioning. Like I have so much out there. I like have so much life to live. Like I can't wait. Like I was just so hungry that I was getting like impatient. But God, I'm so glad I went to school. I have learned so much about myself as like a person and as a performer. And I've just grown and been through so much these past 4 years that I really feel like a true adult, like going into the real world. Like knowing what I know now, if I had done that back then, I'm afraid. I'm terrified of the mistakes I would have made, or like, I don't know, just I'm really thankful for the experiences I had. And I just learned a lot about myself, and I've educated myself about the industry. And I mean, I have a big girl job now, and I'm just I'm a very different person than I
think
was
one of
then.
the plus sides that I see with going the college route to go to like, you know, you did musical theater. I mean, number one, it's a gut check, right? Because school's going to basically put you through the ringer as far as criticism and competition and all that kind of stuff goes. But it points your compass in the right direction, which I think a lot of people, as soon as they get out of high school, it's like, I'll go whatever direction life leads me. And that may be the wrong way to go. And I think that's one of the nice things, like, especially just talking with like, and I've only talked with Kurt Heinlein a couple times, but he seemed really knowledgeable
The best.
of that creative space.
He, oh my God, I love that man so much. I will never forget, because he always gives these notes. Like, we would be like in an acting scene my freshman year, and I'd be like, oh, just tell me like how to be better. And he just goes, feel deeper. That's his statement. Feel deeper.
Feel deeper.
Yeah. And I would always get so frustrated with him. Like, what do you mean I'm feeling so much, man? But God, he's genius. And I mean, he has this chart. It's about like the fundamentals of an acting scene. And every single class I had with him, he gave us this chart. I'm like, dude, this is the same chart he gave me my freshman year. Like, I don't need this chart. But like, I'm telling you, my senior year, I'm looking at that chart. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I had this, because they're the fundamentals of everything. Environment. That's the thing people, like, I'm on a rant right now. Like, in a self-tape, like, you know what I mean? Like, people will be like, oh, they're sitting outside of school, and like, it's a rough day, and their friend, like, oh, it's like, hey, you want a drink, and offers them a flask. Some people might just go and take, you know, just like a swig. Other people would be like, oh, I'm at school, I gotta look around. You know what I mean? Just like little things
Know
like
where
that.
you're at, yeah.
Yeah, like to just make a huge difference. And then people watch that and they're like, oh, they're somewhere, and like they're in that moment.
They're
you know
literally
what I mean?
there, yeah.
It's just so interesting. My freshman year, like, that's something that I would just right over my head. I'm just so thankful. I really am.
So, what type of courses did you take then?
I had to take music theory. That kicked my butt.
That's the butt kicker.
It was a butt kicker.
That's the one that my wife still like. It's like that crucible.
Oh.
I had to take music theory in college.
I mean, that's the first one I mentioned to you, right? All the musical theater majors. Oh, the music theory. No, which it ended up being really helpful. I hope that I still remember it. You know what I mean? But no, I took dance classes. I took acting on film, but I also took just like acting classes in general. Just like some classes were about like exercises you do. Like, hey, how do you get yourself present in this scene? Or like, how do you get yourself really engaged with that partner? Other classes about like, hey, if you get an audition side, what are you going to do with it? There's like auditions classes. There's like musical theater styles where they teach you like the classic chorus line dance, they teach you that, because like some auditions, they're like, okay, do it. And you're just like, you should know it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's apparently, yeah. So we have classes like that, just like the basic technique classes. We all have voice lessons. We added on Zipporah Petal, who is amazing, and she's all about like commercial music, so about like the pop and the rock and the country, and she's like teaching us how to like adapt to all these different styles and like seem like really authentic to like the era. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's literally so useful. I mean, lately with like musical theater, everything is all like that jukebox or like different types of like artist musicals, like all of Michael Jackson musical, I think is happening. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Is it really?
Yeah. There's yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Every artist is going to have their own musical now.
I can't wait till Boy George has his.
Woohoo.
You don't even know who Boy George is?
No. Don't expose
my
me. If that's bad,
gosh.
don't put that in the podcast.
Oh, Boy
No, I'm kidding.
George, Culture Club. Do you really want to hurt me? You don't know that one?
I don't think I do.
Oh my gosh, Aline.
Well, I should look it up then.
Well, I gotta remember, you're like
99.
You're like 25 years younger than me, so yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You need to get out and listen to some oldies.
Honestly, I feel like my dad did a good job of like exposing me to like good music though. Like at least I wasn't too surprised throughout the course with her where she was showing us all the music from the eras. I was like, he did good. He did me good. I was like, thank God. Because
I try to culture
like,
my children too.
Who
It's like, yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't know who that is. Pearl, is it Pearl Jam, right?
Is it Pearl Jam? Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
I was just making sure I didn't mess up the name. I didn't want to like embarrass myself.
No, it's all right.
Or like Pearl Jam, like, oh my God. Some people were like, who is that? I'm like, oh, how dare you not know that? I'm
That's
like, my dad would be so proud. And now he's going to listen to this and be like, come on, you didn't know the name.
You graduated, and now you are looking at what?
I graduated, and now I am going to do the film and television thing, but also the stage thing. I mean, I'm doing Beehive. I'm doing Mamma Mia. I'm possibly doing another stage show.
What part you get in Mamma Mia?
Sophie.
Oh, you did?
It's my dream role.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm just melting. I love that show so much, and the music is so good.
We'll have to go see it because it's my daughter's favorite
Is
show.
it really?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
She's got it memorized.
Oh, same. My mom's like, oh, that's so much to memorize before. And I was like, girl.
You knew who sang all the original songs, right? Mm-hmm. Who?
Wait, what?
Who sang all the original songs from
ABBA.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. I'm
Just checking.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were like, you're going to sing the original songs. I was like, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I am not going to sing that.
You unplugged yourself. You're like, I'm done with this podcast.
So, are you thinking that you're going to do both? I mean, what is your instinct telling you now? I mean, I would think that would be difficult for me. Because I would think you would have to kind of make a decision and go, I'm either going this way for a while or I'm going this way for a while.
It does really feel like that. I'm going to be honest. And it's a little bit stressful. So we did a musical theater showcase and we did an acting showcase, which was like film and television showcase, basically. And on both of those, I did hear back from like representation in terms of both. Some who were like, hey, I would like to represent you if you come out to New York and mostly handle stage work. And then I also heard from people in LA and they were like, film and TV, strict. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, gosh, like two loves of my life. Which one am I going to go to? But I don't know, lately, I mean, musical theater will always be my first love, but just film and TV, just something is calling to me. Like, I just know I have to do it. I just know I have to do it. And I love stage work. If a stage opportunity comes up, I audition for it. It's a great way to, like, get myself out there, get some more experience, you know what I mean? Like, and so much lately, like, just filming, like, stage work. Like, I have, like, not self-tapes. I'm going to have, like, footage of me and Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia was a movie, you know,
right.
movie musical. So why can't I just put that out there and people can be like, oh, you know, she can sing. I mean, that's useful in the film and television world.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, so many movie musicals coming out. Like, this is a useful, like, skill to have. So there's no reason why me doing that and getting footage from that and putting that on my website, like, people are going to see that and be like, hey, she could just do that on film and TV too, especially if I get, like, an up close. I don't know. I'm always thinking about, like, hey, like, me doing this could be useful because of this. And also just because I love it.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me happy. And if it makes me happy and, I mean, my team's on board, then why not? You know what I'm saying? I'll work my Starbucks job and do that. Starbucks is my life now. But yeah, so I am technically going the film and TV route, if we're talking technically. I signed with some managers in LA after Showcase, and they are supportive of me right now, living in Atlanta and self-taping from there and auditioning for things around there, and they're submitting me for some features in LA. And so the plan right now is, Atlanta's definitely moving a little bit more in terms of, like, COVID-related things, so there's more action happening there. Mm-hmm. But they're like, if you're getting a lot of auditions, and, like, we will ask you to move to LA. But right now they're totally on board for me, like, working my job, like, getting as much experience as possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? They love me doing all this stuff. They're like, I don't know how you have a reel like that coming out of college. I'm like, thank God to DuCon and, like, all the people I've met in this film community. So they're like, this Eldritch thing I have going on in August, they're like, go for it. Like, great. The more experience, the more the footage is, the better. You know what I mean? And that is literally a movie musical. Eldritch is.
Yeah.
So, like, it's perfect. It combines the stage thing and it combines the film and TV.
Does it make a big... I wonder if it makes a big difference if it's been released.
How do you mean?
Well, like like right now, like around here, we have a ton of films that have been filmed.
Yeah.
But they haven't been produced yet. Like, they haven't actually, like, finished editing them. I mean, I wonder if that makes a big deal that
In terms of like credits on a resume, like if I really needed the credit, I would just put like upcoming or like post-production. Exactly. But really, like what I am looking for right now is footage.
Right.
As much footage, as much of me on camera, me doing different roles, different things on camera is golden.
I've got one of you throwing a hammer.
Right?
And getting choked. Yeah.
Exactly. It'll just be like combat. Well, I mean, some of the acting websites that they submit me on, I have to like write down my special skills, and I have like combat on there, and sometimes they're like, you can add a clip, like a little mini clip if you're doing it. Like so why not?
Thrower. Yeah,
awesome. I'm like, I've thrown a hammer and been choked out. You want to see? Here you go. 2-second clip.
If you don't know what we're talking about Hammer Time, the Sato film that was nominated like, I don't know, 8 times this year. We won no awards, but we were nominated quite a bit. So
were we? I honestly didn't miss the award show.
It was.
I heard it was a time.
It was a time. Well, we'll save that for a different podcast. I wasn't a super. I don't think the judges were consistent. That would be my only issue. Now, don't get me wrong. I still love Sato. I will always love Sato. But the process of the award ceremony, I still haven't figured that out. It is so like there are films that I watched and I was like, that was a really good film, and they didn't even get a sniff. So either I'm completely off or the judges are completely off.
You're out of your mind, Tom.
Yeah, you're nuts.
I'm kidding. I've heard that pretty much across the board. I just don't. I typically don't like to watch award shows because I just don't. I'm not doing it for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also don't mind them either. So,
What is the biggest lesson you learned from acting school? Did you learn a lot of life lessons because you said it was a really good choice for you in that regard. So what was the biggest self-actualization that you got from school?
Honestly, they're hand in hand. The biggest lesson I learned and the biggest personal, like the acting and personal, everything is what you make of it. I came to this school and I've had a lot of opportunities. Worked my butt off for every single one of them. Some people might be upset that I had as many as I did, which is fair. But I worked my butt off and I got a lot of opportunities. And some of those opportunities I got cast in through my school, but some are opportunities I sought out. I went to classes for, I made connections and I made them happen. You know what I'm saying? And I can confidently say that I had an experience at Missouri State that other people did not have. Some people left and did not like their experience at all. But I have to say that I came and I put 100% of myself into everything I did. Every class, I struggled with music theory, but I showed up every single day. I went after class and got tutoring from the teacher. And you know what? And I left and I succeeded. I didn't have to take the class again. Some people have to take that class like 3 times.
So you went all in.
I went all in. I wasn't going to waste a single cent of college. You know what I mean? I was there. I was present. And, everyone makes mistakes along the ways, bad relationships, broken friendships, those kind of life lessons, which, God, I had way too many in college. But I will tell you that I learned that if you show up and you make yourself get out of bed every single morning and make the most of every single day, things will happen for you. Things will come your way. And if you work your butt off, it pays off. Truly, that is what I learned.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm not saying I do that all the time, but I try to make sure that I do that as much as possible.
So now if you were to go back 4 years ago, when you were going through this choice and this decision, because I assume you probably made the choice to go into musical theater well before your senior year of high school.
Oh, yeah. Before I even went to high school.
So you knew that's what you were going to do.
Yeah, I did.
So what would you tell yourself, let's say your senior year of high school, if you could go back?
What would I tell myself?
Get a job at Starbucks.
No, you know what I would tell myself? Stop dating boys. Stop wasting so much energy on boys. I think that's what I would tell myself.
That's probably good advice.
Honestly.
That's exactly what I would tell my daughter.
Yeah.
Not that she's doing that, but I think most girls at that age, you're right. And even guys at that age.
Oh, I mean, everyone at that age is all about but he has a crush on Tommy and he's got a crush on Jan. Oh my God. If I go back now, I would be like, go to bed. Stop staying up till 4 a.m. texting your boyfriend and having to wake up at 4 a.m. So not sleeping and doing your math homework because you stayed up all night texting your I would tell myself to get off my phone and just go get some sleep, because now waking up at 3:30 in the morning to go work at Starbucks, every second I treasure. Every second. I'm like, 1 more minute to set my timer.
That is, you know what, Aline, you're very wise in that way.
Thank you.
I really do truly believe that. You're very wise, because I think that is not to poo-poo on girls. And thank God I did chase girls, because that's what got me into theater, you know?
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, if I hadn't been chasing
off in
girls,
some
I
way.
wouldn't. Yeah. It just went the wrong direction on that one. But yeah, no, I think that's really wise, is stay focused. It'll come.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Spend
You've got
time with your
time.
family.
Yeah.
God, I missed my family so much when I went to college. Every time I went back to school, I would cry in the airplane. People would be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I just love my mom," you know, especially because I went far away, and like not everyone has to do that. But you know, I just wish I would have lived in the moment more. I think that's really what it was. Like, get off my phone, stop worrying about what Jared, my boyfriend, is thinking, and just just live in the present.
You don't really have like a Georgia accent.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Have you ever?
I don't think so, but I can have one if I want one.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I was just sitting there thinking, like, she's from Atlanta. She should be talking like this.
I don't think I think people talk more like this around it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, like no one that I know from Georgia really has a strong one. Maybe just like a little bit. Like when my dad and my mom came into town, my friends were like, "Oh my God, they have a little bit of an accent." I was like, "No, they don't." And I was like, "Wait, do they?" Like I don't know, because I'm around them all the time. But like I think it's a little bit like at the end of words sometimes, and like there's like a little bit of like like dragging it out a little bit, and yeah.
That's cool. How many shows have you done in your life?
How many shows have I done in my life?
How many shows have you done?
I couldn't even tell you, Tom. I mean, I literally could not tell you. I've done so much. I mean, God, if we're going to take the time. Hold on.
I think I'm on show number 74.
How do you know that?
Because I went back through and I was writing down. I was bored one day and I thought, let me type out how many shows I've been. I think I'm on number 74 right now. Oh, you got them written down too?
I've done 13 in 4 years. I'll say
13 in 4 years.
Yeah, plays and musicals.
Do you do a lot of straight shows?
Unfortunately not. I would love to, though. I did Dracula in Branson partially because I was like, I want to act my face off in some creepy thriller Dracula performance. You know what I mean? And wear like the period outfit and the wig and like have the little like, oh, Count Dracula. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. I wish I could do more because I think they're so fun.
I didn't get to see you in Chicago, but the pictures from that, you looked absolutely fabulous in that.
Thank you.
I remember looking at those and going, wow. Like the, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. That scene, that looked really cool.
You'd be a good Billy.
I've always wanted to do that.
We should do that together.
I played Fred Casely. Charleston.
Oh, Fred Casely.
Charleston.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is so funny.
My wife played your part.
She's iconic.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah, that was literally, that was so much fun. And it's just crazy. Back to connections. I did a workshop for Collins Boy musical by Brad Bass.
What is it?
It's a musical about the Collins Boys. Like you should look it up. I don't think I would do it justice explaining it. It's very tragic, but it was Brad Bass and Carrie Joy. They wrote it together and they're both brilliant, back from Atlanta. Like I met them and worked on it with them there. And then we took it to New York and did workshops. And I met this guy named Jacob Estes. And somehow I came to Missouri State and this fella is over in Branson directing and performing and
really
just the nicest person. And we connected and Jacob was like, hey, they're really in need of a Roxy. Like, do you want to come do it? And I was in a really tough place, like with like friendships. I was kind of like hanging out by myself and I was like, you know what? Like, screw it. I'll drive an hour to Branson and back for 8 a.m.s and just go and do it. Best decision ever, because now I'm on my like 3rd show there. And I love it. Love the people. I have a friend group in Branson. I have my film community. Like, yeah, and just like connections. Like, it's crazy.
I had to turn down a show not that I didn't turn down the show. I wasn't cast in it, but I had to turn down just the opportunity.
The possibility,
The possibility of it. And I still kind of kicked myself a little bit because it would have been a lot of fun to do it. But that's the hard part at this point in my life that I really envy you, is that you're at this point where it's like you can do every show if you want to. But I mean, I was there before. Like I was at that point before where I did do every show at the time. But now it's kind of like, sometimes I really want to get back into that and just go, man, I'd like just throw myself into stuff for a while. But I got to throw myself into being dad more now. And it's so weird. You're geared for like fourth gear, but yet you need to be geared for like one and just go a little slower.
It's just, I always think about it. I'm like, gosh, if I ever wanted to be a parent, I don't know. I would have to it would take a lot of like self-reflection on, I would really have to grow up a lot. Cause right now I'm in a place where I'm like, I'm hungry. I want to do everything I can get my hands on. And I just want to make sure that like I could like even afford to you know what I'm saying? There's just so much that goes into that. I can't even imagine juggling that, but you do a really good job of it. Like, honestly, you're really involved in the community and you're also an amazing parent.
Oh, thank you.
As I've seen on Facebook.
Well, thank you. And I think the one thing I would say is that advice that you said you would give yourself, do it.
Take it right now.
Go 120 right now, because
Honestly,
now's the time to do it. You know, it's like, man, you know how many how many shows could you do in a year right now?
In a year?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm probably about to do 3 this summer, so I could do probably a lot.
I mean, you could do a ton. And then
mind.
you figure if you're doing a film, how many, that's probably what, 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
3 weeks? So, I mean, you could crank out a ton of stuff in a year.
I really could, yeah.
And just hopefully not rag yourself out in the process.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I like to be careful. I'm like, I want to make sure that the opportunities I'm taking are like beneficial to like me and like, I don't know, just complement like my life and the stage I'm at right now. Like, there's some things like if it came up, I was like, oh, that would be awesome. But like, is that really right for me at this moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, just because I do have to keep in mind, I just graduated college. I'm trying to be independent now. I work 40 hours at Starbucks, and it's a really tough job. I'm going to be honest. It's really draining. People are really unkind to, it's really like customer service is really difficult. And it's actually shocking to me because I am like one of those people who are like, I like to believe everybody's all like, hi, like, how you doing today? And some people are just like throw their ashes at you. Like,
What?
Oh yeah. Blow smoke on your face as you're trying to like take their credit card. It's just like.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Or they'll, like, order a drink, and they'll be like, I don't like it, and try to make you remake it, like, 5 times and trying to get all of them for free. Yeah, like, people are really manipulative, especially to, like, new trainees, and, like, it's really sad. I'm like, I don't understand. We're just all trying to make some money and survive.
If you could see me right now, like, there is smoke coming out of my ears.
Oh, dude.
I would love to just totally punch. That's why, and honestly, that's why I can't.
But you can't speak up for yourself. Oh, I've had people be so disrespectful to me, and I just have to be like, all right, have a nice day. And then I literally have to go in the back and just be like, God dang it. Like, come on. I just want to vouch for myself so bad in those situations. But you know what? I'm learning a lot from it.
Restraint.
Good life experience. Oh, restraint. Gosh.
But I mean, that's actually a really good. It's a really good quality for an actor to learn.
It is. That is literally what I'm saying. I was like, sometimes you're just gonna have to suck it up and just smile right through it. You know, it's good.
That is one thing that you're very good with on set. Is I can imagine that. I can imagine that if you have gone through the work and the training that you have, it's probably really easy for you, or it's probably, I guess it would be very difficult for you to keep your mouth quiet on certain things because you definitely have had it hammered into your head. And so you look at it and go, well, that's not how that's done. But that's what gets you more roles is people go, oh, well, she's easy to work with.
Yeah, I like to keep my mouth shut, and I like to just focus on what I'm doing. I'm not there for anybody else. I'm just going to do my job, and I'm going to do it good. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I never even really think about it. I'm too like, don't mind anybody else. Just do your own thing. That I like don't even honestly even think about speaking up about things.
Like I've seen actors that look like whenever they choose to play a part, they choose to like lose their mind.
Oh my God.
you know, like lose their mind and go crazy and just like start going, oh, you know, and people look at that as good acting, but I look at it as just like kind of pitching a fit on stage.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Genuinely, what are you doing? There is no reason that you need to become what you're doing.
You should
control the camera.
I think the thing that makes a good actor is the control and the nuance of things, right? It's not so much of going, here, let me just lose my mind on film or lose my mind.
I am this character.
Right.
Oh, okay, that's weird. Why are you, in my opinion, I mean, that's, oh gosh, I'm being opinionated. Oops.
No, that's fine, because I think you are qualified over the last 4 years of listening and going through all this stuff. I mean, you've obviously seen a lot of different types, probably every single day, more so than the average person has, because you're going through all these multiple classes. I mean, what are the biggest no-nos you see? The
biggest no-nos, but not being prepared. That is the biggest no-no, not showing up prepared. Yeah. Not even showing up sometimes. I mean, I was shocked, like, how many people, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, like, how much money you're paying to be here, right? Like, sometimes I, like, genuinely was wondering, and, like, it's like, maybe you should do the math to remind yourself how much every single day showing up costs you, whether or not you show up. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm, like, always thinking about, like, money and being, like, resourceful. I'm, like, that's just me, but the biggest thing is preparedness. Like, people come and they're like, oh, like, I don't understand, like, why they're being so hard on me. I'm like, you don't even know your lines. Like, why do you think they're being tough on you right now? Like, you didn't show up prepared. You knew what was expected of you, and you thought you could just get away with it. And what's even more unfortunate is a lot of the times there are a lot of people who do get away with that. And then there are going to be the people that go in the real world and show up for an opportunity unprepared and get a slap in the freaking face. Just a huge, like, I'll never work with them again. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess I've just always been the person, my parents were like, you work hard at everything. I mean, Starbucks, it's just a job, but like, I want to be the best at everything I do. I mean, I'm training to be a barista trainer now. Why?
So,
I don't even know why.
For our audience out there, just know that probably if you go to the Starbucks that Aline is working at, you're going to get the best cup of coffee.
And the biggest smile on my face, and I will make sure to give you that best customer moment. I will. It's like every single day I go, I'm like, okay, you got to just give 100% of yourself. Like, that's just how my parents raised me. I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
that's good.
I mean, I don't know if this is bad for me to say, but I mean, a lot of males in musical theater get away with a lot of bullshit. I'm just going to say it, like, straight up, especially in musical theater programs. They're the lacking class. Like, we don't have a lot of men. Just straight up. Or like, we have a lot of men that don't stick. You know what I mean? So they get away with a lot more than the women do. And it's so frustrating. Yeah. Oh my God. It drives me crazy, which, I mean, it's pretty typical in all sorts of, I mean, there's different issues in all sorts of different programs, but that always drove me insane. I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you giving this opportunity to this person when they literally showed up late for rehearsals every single day on the last project you worked with them, but you're just going to hand them the role again? Like,
because they just needed the warm body.
Because they just need the body. Yeah, it's just, and I mean, it's not my business. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm lucky to be here. I'm happy to be here. I work to be here. And for me, knowing that I earned it, like, makes me feel like I can be the room. Like, I need to know that I earned it. Like, I need to know that I worked hard. I deserved what I got. You know what I'm saying? And some people are just like, oh yeah, like, here I am again. Like, so crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it does drive me crazy, but I also like to think, I'm like, you know what? Thank God. Thank God I'm one of the people that had to work hard to earn my place, because then when I go out in the real world, it is going to pay off.
Well, and you appreciate it too.
Of course, yeah.
You're not going to take it for granted what you have.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to live even more in the moment. Like, the reminder I'm giving myself right now, just every single opportunity, just eat it up, live in that moment, you know, make the most of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite show you've ever done?
Oh my gosh, that is such a hard question. My favorite show.
Well, favorite show or favorite role, whichever.
My favorite role is Roxy.
Yeah.
100%.
I've
done her twice.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. And I did her in high school, and I took the show in Branson because I was like, I gotta have this on my resume still. And I took all my high school shows off my resume once I got into college. And I was like, you know what? I have to have this. My favorite role is Roxy, but I have a favorite role that I never got to do yet. And I got cast in it, but because of COVID, it got canceled. So
which one's that?
Kira in Xanadu, the Olivia Newton-John.
Oh yeah.
Which they might be doing it next summer. I don't really know if I can say that, but I really want to do it. I love.
So be back here next summer?
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. They're like, maybe we're doing it, maybe we're not. So I'm not holding my breath, but I would love to get to do that. When I got cast in that, I was like, oh, this role is perfect for me. Like just the stupid accent and the rollerblade. I'm like, this is hilarious. But my favorite show I ever did is probably Cats at MSU.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even because I like the show. It just kicked my butt. And
Nobody likes the show, do they?
Okay, you know what? I do like the show. I mean, yes, being on the inside, it's not odd. It makes so much sense, especially because we made it make sense.
Because you all start thinking like cats, right?
Oh my God. It has nothing to even do with the cats. It's all about like class and like society and like, oh my, it's on. I know I'm going to like start ranting and you're really going to laugh at
fine.
me.
I can always cut it out.
You're probably going to want to cut. But like, oh my gosh. Sarah Wilcoxon, she directed and choreographed it. She's a god. She's a god. She teaches at MSU, and I love her so much. But she like created this whole story, and I mean, it is the source material, but we dived further in, and there's like this leader, and like there's this whole group of cats, and like their whole goal is like, I mean, to be honorable enough to get to the Heaviside layer. Like, I mean, it's like the dream and stuff like that, and everyone wants it, and like everyone is putting on these different like performances, being like, this is why I've earned it. Like, let me be a part of it. But then you have Grisabella, who, I mean, she went off with McCavity and basically got scorned, and like now she's kicked out of the group, and all she wants is to be back. All she wants is to connect again and be with the group again and being in the family. You know what I mean? It's just all about like this one cat that basically was like, oh wait, like, but like she's interested in Grisabella. She's like, but listen to her story. Like, what? Like, I want to know more about her. And they're all like, no, like, ew, it's Grisabella, stop. Like, you know what I mean? It's basically just like they're bullying her. Like, truly, I don't know. I just feel like there's a deeper meaning. And then eventually, like, they accept her again, and they're like, you know what? We forgive you, and we see like all of the pain you've been through and all you did contribute while you were a part of the group. And like, you know what? You do deserve to have a second chance. You deserve to have that next life. And like, you deserve to like start new again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not because like you were like the fat cat or like, you know, all the other songs, but because like, you know, like you went through that experience and you learned, and like now you get to move forward and like have a new, sorry, you definitely want to cut this out. But like, I'm so passionate about it, and like everyone's like, ugh,
Did you watch the movie?
We'll talk about it later. Yeah, I watched the movie.
I take it your production was better than the movie?
In my opinion. Well, okay, no, it was different. There was beautiful things about the movie. There were things that were very confusing about the movie at the same time.
Let's talk about some of your instructors there in MSU.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Robert Westenberg.
Yeah.
He is the king of Broadway, literally. He played Cinderella's prince in Into the Woods. He was in Secret Garden.
Agony.
Yep,
is that right?
That's him. And
is it really?
Yep, the original. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, deadass.
That's cool.
He is amazing. No, he's literally incredible. He did Secret Garden original on Broadway. He was like, I think, one of the understudies of... basically, he's done a million things. Like, he is literally the king of Broadway. He met Kim Crosby doing Into the Woods. She was Cinderella. He was Cinderella's prince, and now they're married. And they are the cutest thing ever. And the way he talks about her is like, I mean, enchants the room. He loves that woman so much.
That is awesome.
He's like, her laugh just warms up. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are precious. I can't.
So I'm pretty sure he is on. So like that original recording that they made it's like a PBS film of Into the Woods.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I want to say it was like in the late 80s.
And then it probably was him.
I think it was him.
Yeah, and he was the wolf too. The hello, little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
And then we have Lisa Brescia, also Broadway. She just got done doing Evan's mom in Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's freaking incredible. And she has a million. All these people have a million credits that I'm just like naming the like most recognizable ones. She also did Elphaba and Wicked on Broadway.
Really?
Yeah, she is literally
because that's
incredible.
not a slouchy part at all.
She is not slouchy in the slightest. She is a hard-working
That's probably
woman.
one of the hardest I would say that's probably one of the hardest musical parts.
It's extremely demanding.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of
I mean, if you're doing it for like 3 weeks, yeah. But if you're doing it every night,
8 shows a week. Yeah.
That's tough.
No, it's some tough stuff. It's
Yeah.
a difficult role. I mean, there's honestly like no role on Broadway that's not difficult in my mind. Like truly, like everything requires. Oh my gosh, some of the roles like you don't even realize how hard they are until like you really start thinking about it. You're like, oh my gosh, they're running around doing all that choreography, and then they're singing that song, and then like when you're in a show, you really realize how hard it is to be doing that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing, I played Harold Hill in Music Man. And just trying to learn that one song, I was like, this is so unbelievably
this is the
stupid
worst.
hard. It's like, yeah, it took me like two to 3 weeks to just learn the song.
Oh yeah, I mean, Cats. They have that. We have the Jellicle Cats. Is it difficult? Like it's like that whole monologue. Luckily, I learned it in high school, so I already had it memorized because it was ingrained into me. I was like, Jellicle. I'm like, where? How do I know this right now? Like it literally like came from like
Just
the deepest,
oozed,
darkest memory in my body. I'm like, this is odd, extremely odd. Oh my gosh. Okay, but those are just like like also we have amazing faculty that like weren't on Broadway and are just equally as credible. Like we have Kurt. I mean, Kurt is just. Did you see the short film he did?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to call him because I've got this really cool thing that's coming up in September.
What?
I'll have to talk to you about it later.
Okay. I want to know.
But I would like to be able to figure out a way to be able to show that around here.
It is amazing.
Is it?
I watched it in Mudhouse and I bawled like a baby. So well acted, so well directed. Just, oh my gosh. It has Ed Swidey in it. He is on faculty at MSU right now.
Oh, okay.
Do you know him?
No.
Brilliant. That is the man. I left that man's class and I go, I am an actor now. He caused me to have my breakthrough. He's the one who called me into his office and he's like, you know what, you got to work on this. This is the thing you need to work on it and you need to have a breakthrough. And he gave me some extremely difficult material, gave me the hardest circumstances and gave me like this crazy activity like in this scene. So I was doing some like, God, I could explain the whole thing, but like it would just sound crazy over the microphone. But like I was doing this activity and I was like in these insane circumstances in the scene and I just like, everything clicked and he changed my life like straight up, that man. And he's invested in your personal progress as well as your like success as an actor. Like he is still somebody. He came to my senior recital like where I just sing a bunch of songs and I was like, oh my God, like thank you for caring about me, like, and my individual growth, like not just being like a check the box, I'm done professor. Like he is top notch. And
when are you leaving us in Springfield?
Technically August, but not really August because I'm doing Eldridge. So when Eldridge is happening, I'm going to be right back. You know what I'm saying? And well, so technically I'm moving out in July. I don't have a place to live. So we're TBD, but I am doing Mamma Mia in August and I am doing that film possibly in August or later. So
I got a camper out at the Baker house so you can stay in the camper.
I'm honestly, I'm just like, you know what? Well, let's just see. You know what I mean? And
right.
like, I'm still submitting for like films and stuff like that. And like my managers are still submitting me because I haven't officially done like my book out yet. So I'm like, well, we're still like seeing like what's going to be going on. You know what I'm saying? It's just, yeah, I don't know. And I'm okay with that. I'm going to be honest. I am fine with that. And when it comes, I'm going to be like, okay, here we go. We're off to Atlanta or LA or wherever.
Wow.
Life takes me. Yeah.
It's exciting, but it's scary, right?
It is, but I'm just not going to think about it too much. I'm going to live in the moment, and then when that comes, I'll deal with it then. You know what I mean? And I'll probably like be like, oh, I don't want to leave my friends and my boyfriend, and you know what? And then we'll just move forward.
Well, the cool thing is Springfield is on the way to LA from Atlanta.
Is it? No, is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably not going to drive to. I guess I have to if I need a car.
No,
I'm using my car. See, we're not thinking about that. That's for another day. You know, woke up at 3:30, came straight here from work. I'm gonna take a nap and then maybe I'll think about it.
Well, Aline, let's wrap this puppy up.
Oh my gosh, I did it! I was scared.
You did it. I am so happy for you. It's finally happened.
Oh my gosh, I know. I'm so excited. I was like, when am I going to be on the podcast? I was like, Tom, do you actually like me?
Yes, I do. Well, and I kind of always had it in the back of my head. I was going to wait till you graduated because I wanted to be able to like document this moment because like 2 years from now, if you're famous.
Oh, shut up. I don't want to be famous, but hopefully I'll be successful and I'll be happy.
You'll be somewhat famous by then.
Famous to myself.
You'll be famous to all of us. We'll be like, you remember when Aline used to do stuff here with us? And
Stop. I'll
now
always
she
do
doesn't
stuff for
anything
you
at all.
guys. I swear to God, like no matter what. You guys are my family. Like
It
my
is
OG.
a ton of fun. It is a ton of fun. And it's been fun working with you. It's going to happen some more.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Aline, it's been great having you on the show. And I'm not looking forward to you going back to Atlanta, but when you make it big, remember us little folk here out in Springfield.
Stop it. Stop it right now. I love you. Thank you for having me on. I feel so special and cool with this microphone.
Take care. Stay in touch.
Yes. Okay.
You have been listening to the Bravo Creative Podcast. Analysis of your biometrics have been compiled and calculated. You are now a minuscule part of the collective. Enjoy the rest of your pitiful day.